Good morning, everybody. My name is Mike at Filmboy24, and if you've ever wondered what's on those old rolls of Super 8 film that were fully exposed many, many years ago, but then forgotten about, well, today we're going to find out. That's right, it's time for found film number 46. That's right, 46. That means I've documented this little series 46 times so far in the little over-ish 2.5 years I've been doing this. Actually a couple more, because I did some early on that I didn't actually count. So we have some found film, and today I have a dual found film episode. Essentially, they're partially shot rolls, and then I finished them off, and we're going to show you what was on the rolls. But before we do, there's a couple of very quick things I want to mention. First and foremost, thank you to every single one of you who has subscribed or commented or just watched or shared or liked or whatever my videos. It means a lot to me. I try to answer every single comment on every one of my videos. I might miss a couple, but I do try to answer every single one of them. So if you have a question or a concern, anything, leave me a comment down below. Send me an email. In my About section, you can see my email address. So shoot me an email if you want. So found film to me is an old roll of film that was, well, lost then found. Some of it wasn't really lost, it was just never processed. So with these two examples that we're going to get to in just a minute, these are in the 40-year range, 40-plus year range that they've been sitting idle, partially shot, and never processed. So I like to bring them to light and show you what was on them, and maybe we could locate somebody one of these days like we did very early on. But before I get into that and back to my thanking, I also want to give thanks to everybody that helps keep analog and namely film alive. Those people to me include Kodak, which I'm going to show you something in 1 second, and Silver Grain Classics. Now let me make something very clear. Neither one of those two sponsor me or this video or anything associated with me. They're just really important in the film community. And by important, I mean, well, Silver Grain Classics, for one, is a magazine. They have digital content. They also have print magazines that are quarterly. And they're an awesome company. I've spoken with several of the employees of this company, and they know how to put film back into the limelight, and they do that so lovely with these glossy covers and this square bound magazine full of color and black and white imagery. I did write an article for Silver Grain Classics magazine. Look for that. I'll let you know more about that when I can. Should be in the print mag. Again, I'll let you know when I can. Very important magazine for keeping film sort of in the limelight and keeping you abreast of what's new. Kodak. Now, I don't know if you remember, if you follow my channel, you know I did some tests for Kodak with this stuff. You know that I had issues with this film. I don't know, a couple years ago I was shooting a roll of this and it kept stopping on me. I know some of you have had issues with this film. This is their newly released 100D. It's been out a couple years, the 7294. And it did, and they admitted that it had some hiccups, and it was sort of jamming in the cameras and skipping and doing all kinds of funky things, mainly just not running smoothly at all. So they picked a few people, different countries, and they sent them some test carts as they made changes. I was one of those people, and I shot those rolls. I documented exactly what happened in the camera, or with the film roll, while it was running through my camera. And after about a year, they, I think, nailed down what the issues were, because the last cart or two that they sent me, well, they went pretty darn smoothly. So as a sort of a thank you, Kodak just sent me these two rolls of film here. I've been in contact for a year or two with a really cool guy over at Kodak. And I believe he watches my channel, or if anybody that works at Kodak watches my channel, thank you very much. Thanks for watching and appreciating the goofiness that is. And thank you very much for keeping film alive and working on this. It's important that we always have fresh stock. Super 8, 16mm, and if it doesn't run right, no one's going to buy it. And if no one buys it, it dies. So this is the brand new stuff that has been improved upon. If you have some ideas of what you think I should shoot on this, you let me know. What's this? Well, I have to hurry with this because I got to get this back in the freezer. I've had it out of the freezer for about 10 minutes now. This was also sent to me by Kodak, directly from Kodak. Yep, it's the old Ektachrome 160 and my nemesis, Kodachrome 40, which was early on my absolute favorite film stock. It was one of the only few film stocks you could get in the 70s and 80s, but I loved shooting Kodachrome 40. Those of us that shoot it now, well, we realize that you can't really expect much out of it. So why did Kodak send this to me? Well, I was a little bit confused when I opened the package until I read the letter, which I'm not going to read aloud here, and I'm not going to show you who sent it to me, but it's from Kodak, my buddy over there at Kodak. These films were expired or processed promptly by July of 79 for the Ektachrome and January of 78 for the Kodachrome. Now, I'm told by Kodak that these were given back to Kodak from a Kodak employee that retired. Now, according to that employee, they obtained this film new, kept it frozen since new, was unfrozen due to some issues with their freezer in 1991 for a short time, and then refrozen. And then when that employee retired, they decided to send this back to Kodak. From there, Kodak put it in their freezers. And then just a couple of weeks ago, it ended up in my freezer. So very, very cool of Kodak to send this to me. I asked my wife, sort of a silly question, what should I do with it? Should I just keep it frozen and then be able to say I have frozen Kodak film from 46-ish years ago? Or should I shoot it? And she sort of laughed at me and said, why on earth would you just keep it frozen? You got to use it. You got to do something with it. So I don't know if I'm going to wait until it's officially maybe 50 years old, which is close because you got to remember 16 to 24 months-ish prior to their process date is when it was manufactured. So this might have been manufactured in 76 and maybe 77, something like that. So I don't know. If you have any ideas, you let me know. I want to do something with this film. Let's see what it does. Let's see if there's a huge difference. Let me know. But thank you again, Kodak, for sending that to me. Now, let me set this aside, and we're going to talk about this. This is our found film for today. Like I said in the intro briefly, I have two rolls today. They're both Ektachrome 160 Type A film, which was the indoor tungsten balanced film. And they're both sound film. Now, this is not cameraman Mike sound film. That's what you're used to hearing. You like what I did there? Hearing. These are randoms, and they were partially exposed. And by partially exposed, I mean that it didn't say exposed, wrong end, on the where you could see this on the edge of the cart here where you see the film. Well, you don't see the film now because I've already pulled it and processed it. So what I do with partially exposed rolls of film is I pop them in my camera, and I usually just go in the backyard and film the kids playing or goofing around or something like that. And then however much I shoot, I subtract from 50, and that's kind of gives you an idea of how much was on here. So I actually have these backwards to me. So roll number 1 is going to be this one right here. And like I said, they're both Ektachrome 160 Type A film, which is the tungsten balanced film. This particular roll was obtained by me online from Kirkville, New York. You know anybody in Kirkville, New York? That's where I got the film from. That doesn't necessarily mean this is where the film was shot originally. After putting it in my camera and playing with it in the backyard, I come to realize that about 40 feet of this film was previously exposed. So that was a good thing. So we have something to kind of look at. This roll here, it's the same film, it's just a bit older. This is also 160 Type A. This one hailed from, let's see, Framingham, Massachusetts. So do you know anyone there? Or in and around Framingham, Massachusetts? Well, that's where I got it from. After putting it in my camera and then taking it out back, I realized that about 20 feet of this was exposed. So we're looking at 40 feet, 20 feet, about 60 feet, a little over a roll. But after I cut the front and there's a couple of spots that were black or blank or whatever, we cut a little bit of it. We have about a full roll to show you. Now, I will say this, that was loud. probably louder for you, but I don't. This particular roll of film has an edge code on it. This is roll number 1, and the edge code is a square, a circle, and a triangle. According to Kodak, that means this particular roll was manufactured in 1985. The second roll, or roll number 2 that you're going to see, has an edge code of a triangle. You know what a triangle means. That means this roll was manufactured in 1978. Now, it's been my experience that most of the time when people bought a roll of film, I know it was this way for me anyway, and I've noticed it also kind of when I'm doing the found film, when they bought a roll, they pretty much shot it. So we could probably stick close to those dates. Maybe this film was shot in the 85, 86 range, and maybe this 78, 79 range. Keep that in mind when I show you the films. One thing I do want to add, they're both sound films. Film number 1 has 1 swear word in it, and if you follow my channel, you know that on camera, I never ever swear. I just do that because I want this to be a family-friendly channel, and there's really no reason for it. Off camera, we'll talk about that later. Anyway, there is 1 swear word. It's one of those mediocre ones, so if you don't want to hear it, just go like that at the very beginning, and then you're good. Anyway, the sound really does add a second dimension to film. It adds a second dimension to everything. What I recommend is watch these with the sound and then watch them without, and you'll see just how much it adds a new flavor. It adds so much depth. It gives you so much more insight as to what's going on. I mean, there's no doubt you're going to know what's going on, but really what's in the minds of these people. That's why I love so much finding found sound film, because it opens up another whole world to what was actually going on back in the day. I'm going to label film 1 and then film 2. Film 1's a little bit longer than film 2, but no biggie. Here they are.
Hi.
Hi.
Look at the tree. Holy shit.
Christmas tree. What's the matter with you people?
It's all yours.
Okay, Lou. Do you know what that is? All right, where's your paper off? All right, give it to Mommy. Stop, Lou.
All right.
All right, go ahead. What is it?
It's incorporated.
Yeah!
Here, you can start.
Here, get it open. You better stop something.
Come on, Tito.
It's just tape it.
Well, rip it off.
I think I taped that one. What is it?
Brownie outfit.
Yeah.
A new brownie outfit. They had a new one?
Uh-huh. So, Daddy.
Oh, that's nice. Look at her face. Oh, they were real cool. You and Michael Jackson are the only two who never wear anything like that.
Oh, that's from you. That's for Mommy and Daddy, not for Christy. I don't think so, unless she gave us both.
The Ricos.
Oh, the Ricos are for all of us. She gave us dish towels.
Oh, that's
That's
nice.
nice.
And 11 o'clock radio.
It's just an alarm clock, digital alarm clock. Show Dad. Other way.
Okay.
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 Now pull up the pants now.
Let me see the other one.
Purple.
Oh my God.
All right.
Seems to be working all right. No, it's not going at all. No. Right. I told you. The size of this thing. The candles won't go out.
Sit down. Oh, do it for Jim and his camera. Blow the candles out.
Jim, don't let your nose get in, Jim.
Put a little wind behind it.
Put a little hot air behind it.
You gotta run? Oh, I'm sorry. Have you tried to find it out running? How old are you? Stay again. That's okay.
But I mean, you can fake it 1 year in a row, but not 2 years.
You're gonna go. I'm gonna run.
Jim,
What?
did he tell you?
I'm lost for words of what's his thing.
I'm going to put me in a
I
hot
know you're excited.
I'm gonna sit right down and write myself a letter
Tell Judy not to
and make believe
Well,
it
fortunately, last night we
from you.
Judy,
Come on, Tina, hurry up. Okay, so Dad might have been a little bit pushy in that first one. But, you know, here's a good explanation as to maybe why he was trying to get little Tina to hurry with her presents. Because at 18 frames a second, you only got about 3 minutes and 20 seconds of film. You're not holding your iPhone in front of your little one while they're opening Christmas presents. You're holding a Super-8 camera that literally gives you just over 3 minutes to film Christmas morning. So, you know, when Tina's struggling a little bit, maybe just turn the camera off. I don't know, not my Christmas. But an interesting dad nonetheless. You see what I mean now about sound giving you that next step into older found films. It gives you a lot more explanation. If you watch that first film with no audio, well, you just have a cute little girl opening Christmas presents, happy as can be that she's got little brownie outfits and whatnot. You can't hear the sort of frustration of Dad and Mom saying, settle down, because they're afraid of running out of film. So gives you a little insight into the family. Film number 2, little office party, I think, maybe for Jimmy. I don't know. It sounded like I heard Jimmy in there. By the way, did you notice, kids, younger than me, most people, the telephone on that desk? The rotary phone. Yeah, we had one years ago. Rotary phones, you just don't see those anymore. Now you see cell phones. Most people don't even have home phones or landlines anymore. It's all about cell phones, myself included. And what a great little singer, the young lady at the end there. That was a lot of fun. That second one was a fun little office party, maybe a birthday party. Like I say, I don't really know exactly what they were celebrating. Probably his birthday, and he had this little harem around him. And again, I think the young lady at the end that was singing kind of stole the show, because seemed like she would be a lot of fun to be around. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this little piece of film history. I love keeping film history alive. These films will stay with me for a very long time. They're safely archived. If you have some old film that came in a camera, some film that you didn't shoot, and you're interested in seeing what's on it, contact me. My info is on my About Me page on YouTube there. I look over there because my computer is right there. You can find my email address in there. If you don't feel like looking, it's Filmboy24@gmail.com. Send me an email and let's talk about it. If you shot the film, you can also email me, and I do process and scan film for people regularly. Have to charge you a little bit. Sorry, can't do it all for free. But I don't charge you if it's found film. You just don't get it back, but we'll show it here on my channel. If you enjoyed this little episodic, do me a favor, hit the like button. It means a lot to me. It takes less than a second. Yep, I promise you I timed it. And if you feel like I've earned it, how about do some of that? Subscribe, share the video, hit the bell notification so that you know every single time there's a new found film or zany little film episode. I have another battle coming up, a battle royale. One of my subscribers gave me a great idea, and I'm kind of planning it out now. Looking like it's going to be something like the Canon 1014 XLS. I don't know if you can see one up here, which is a very high-end Super-8 camera, versus something like this, which is a Kodak Royal 16mm magazine camera, which is a very low-end 16mm camera. And then we'll crop them both basically to the same frame size. See if you could tell the difference. And until the very next time that I see all of your stunningly gorgeous faces, I say it every time, and I do this every single time because I'm a goofball. That's it. That's the goofiness. I'll see all of you on the very next go-around.